Hello and welcome to this very special Meet the Miniaturist. Say hello in the chat box. Hello. Hi, Julie and Amy and Tony and Denise and Jeff. Good to see you. Stephanie. Aw. Hi, guys. Welcome. I started a little bit early just so I can give people a chance to get on and also can, so folks can say hello because I like to hear where people are joining from before I take you through some of the things that are happening in my mini world. Hi, Shannon. Good to see you. Susan. Yeah, I'm going to go through just some events and updates from my mini world before we bring on our very special guest. If you are just joining on, please do say hello in the comments and tell me where you are joining from. Hey, Joanne from Maine. Good to see you. I was just up in Maine this summer. It's awesome. New Jersey is in the house. Great to see you. We're coming up on a few minutes. Evelyn Curry, I haven't seen you for a while out in Chicago. Good to see you. Julie. Yeah, keep on keeping on. I hope everybody is having a great day. We have a beautiful day here in New York where I am live streaming from. We'll just wait 1 minute, give some folks a chance to get on and then begin. And I'll take folks through what is going on in my neck of the woods. Good to see you. Hi, Catherine. We got Ireland. Awesome. Maryland. Grew up in Maysville. Patsy. Nice. That is amazing. Good to see people from the international world here. And that is awesome. Hi, Connie. This is awesome. Look, I'm going to post right now some important links in the chat box. You can go and save them now or go back and retrieve them before the end. But these are, and I'll also post these in the comment section when this is done. But just check that out as we get ready to begin. Please do say hello in the chat box. Hi, Linda. Oh man, it's so good to see everybody. Hi, Amy. I don't usually take this much time to say hello to folks. It's always good. Canada, very nice, awesome. Hey, Pat in Jerry, New Jersey. All right, let me get started. I'm going to start just a minute early. But this is just so you know what's going on in my mini world. I just had a couple of Meet the Miniaturists that I really do encourage you guys to go check out on my YouTube channel. I recently had Andrea Stark on with Robert Dawson, who's a builder. Andrea is a West Coast collector. She has an absolutely beautiful collection. They make an amazing team partnership in building this amazing French chateau. So go check that out. Links in the comment section. I also was able to talk to Annabella Gorova. She's actually Russian, living right now in Montenegro. She does beautiful metal work, and you can tell just by that beautiful drinks cart. She does all of the turnings herself on metal and brass, and she's just incredible. So check that out. Got a chance to talk to her. I also had relatively newcomer, Taylor Laffensweiler. He's a New York City-based miniaturist with an amazing talent for sort of the architectural details around not only the exterior of Dollhouse, but interior as well. And check him out. Check out this live stream with him. He's got a very popular Instagram account. He does a lot of how-tos and shows. He's very generous with his tips and techniques. So check him out. He's actually from the House of Viridian is the name of his channel. But there is a link there to go check out that the replay from my live stream, Meet the Miniaturist with him. I do have an estate sale happening right now. If you're new to my channels, I love miniatures and I sell miniatures mostly through estate sales. I have one happening right now in progress. Some beautiful things from a New York City collector who's looking to downsize. And that's wrapping up today, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Go check that out in my eBay store. And just as that's wrapping up in sort of like the 7 o'clock hour, there's about 50 or 60 lots. It's a relatively small estate happening estate sale that's happening. But just as that's wrapping up, a new one will begin. This is a multi-estate sale from a number of different collectors who are looking to downsize, including one of my clients from Japan. Very interesting mix of dollhouse miniatures that you're going to want to check that out. So there's sterling silver in this sale that's happening starting tonight. Really interesting pieces, beautiful pieces. So check that out. And if you are looking to downsize a collection, definitely reach out. I would love to have a conversation with you. I'm also hosting a webinar on just to provide more information. If you're looking to sell a collection, have someone sell on your behalf, I'm happy to talk to you, or you can come and view the webinar that's actually happening on Saturday, October 4th at 10 a.m. Again, the link's in there to register and join. And then finally, I am going to be hosting my How to Build a Miniatures collection. So if you're looking to sort of step up your mini game, I host a webinar on giving you tips and tricks to really just up your game, what to look for, how to look for good quality miniatures, how to sort of interact and really just improve your miniatures collection. Because I think this is an important part of the mini world, is having folks look at miniatures in different ways and really arm themselves with all the right information so that they can build themselves a really great collection. That's happening on Thursday, October 9th. At 7 p.m. Again, links in the comment section to register and join. These are free webinars, and I'm happy if you'll attend. Okay, so with that, I would like to say thank you for joining this very special Meet the Miniaturist. If you're just joining, please do tell me where you're joining in the chat box before I bring up my very, very special guest, Kaye Browning. If you don't know Kaye, you're going to know Kaye today. Kaye has been collecting for more than 50 years. She has I would say, one of the most extraordinary collections on the planet Earth. And it takes a lot of work to do that. So thank you for joining today. I'm so excited to introduce you to the folks out there who are watching right now, if they don't already know you. So you have a museum in Maysville, Kentucky. You've been collecting for a long time. You have a new book coming out. You have a lot going on. We have a lot to get to. But why don't we take some time to introduce yourself for people who don't know you, and then maybe we'll get a little walkthrough of the museum. But just tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved in miniatures? What do you love most about the miniatures? And I think there's also a very special piece of the pie about your interaction with miniatures, and it's a lot about storytelling. Talk about the importance of storytelling. So with that, thank you, Kaye, for joining. It's been 5 years.
Oh gosh, that's been too long. Thank you so much for having me. This is really exciting because this is my favorite thing to talk about. So I'm always happy when I'm around my minis.
Yes. Yes.
Most people know how I got started if they have had any connection with my first two books that were, collectively speaking, they were two little volumes about sort of how I got started and what I looked for in miniatures. But I was reading a book to my two daughters. They were 3 and 4 at the time. They're now 53 and 54. So, we're right at 50 years. But seeing one of the pages in the book was Q is the quilt on grandmother's bed. It was an alphabet book by Tasha Tudor. And that page really spoke to me because I had slept in a bed exactly like that as a child, and it had a pink and white patchwork quilt on the bed that my grandmother had made for my doll. And it just was something that I felt that I wanted to recapture that wonderful memory of having that piece of furniture that was so dear to me.
Yeah.
So that's basically how I got started.
And what was the first thing you did to bridge that memory? Did you buy a piece that was like that? When did that begin?
My former husband, Bill, he had been he was an Army officer, and he went over to a deaccessioned section of the base, and he picked a deaccessioned gun, and he took the gun butt off. It was a black walnut gun butt, and he cut it into strips and turned it on a Dremel mini lathe. And I'm telling you, that bed was perfection. It is still perfection, and it is my guiding light for the standard by which I judge everything. It is
Wow.
so real.
And you still have this piece, I'm sure. And is it
I
part of the
do.
museum? You
I
too?
do. I have a section of the museum called basically how I got started.
Oh,
And the bed is in there with a quilt. We have the Tasha Tudor book as a background, which
yeah.
is so great. And then the two chairs that I bought, the first two chairs that I ever purchased were Victorian side chair and a Victorian rocking chair by Gloria Longfellow. And it started there. It that
Yeah.
that was
I
the
mean,
beginning.
and I mean, you went right to it. You went right to fine quality, well made. And it was really because of this one bed. I
That's
mean,
right.
most people, it takes time for them to learn and, get it, but you got it
Yes.
from get go. And that, and to your point, that set your standard.
Well, I have always said I do not want to purchase anything that I couldn't blow up and use in my own home.
Yeah,
The
right.
detail, the highly handcrafted pieces, it just has to be that perfect, which
Yeah.
is why my expanded exhibit is called Scale to Perfection, because
Uh,
that's what
yeah.
it's all about,
Yeah.
detail and perfection.
So when did so you started acquiring and collecting, and after this period, like how did that all start and when?
Well, I started in 1974, and through the years, even toward the end of the 90s, I was thinking about doing a small museum because
Yeah.
I had collected six different structures, and I would invite the board of directors from the Cincinnati Art Museum to come, and I would fix lunch, and
Yeah.
I have it just really do it up right. And I thought this would be really wonderful. Well, as it turned out, it wouldn't be possible. It wouldn't have been possible because, where I lived, I could have taken several rooms to make the museum, but I wouldn't have been able to get zoning
Yeah.
to, for people to actually come and see it. So as it turned out, when Bill and I got together, Bill Robertson,
Yeah.
and we decided to do this, it just, everything fell into place.
Yeah. So you always had a museum in mind to house the collection. And
Hmm.
okay, so there was always going to be a place, even before you
Well,
had it, that you were acquiring for, or like I'm trying to think of what was
it,
driving you.
I was, I was, I was limited to space. And when Bill and I got together and we decided that we were going to really do this
Yeah.
and we were going to do it right, that's when my collecting really started. That was in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And it just really took off. And people say, well, how do you know what you want to purchase? Well, I purchase what I like,
There you go.
and
Yeah.
everything that I like
Yeah.
seems to go together. And
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
just that's the way it goes. I take what I like, and then I'm able to put it together and create that scene, or you know
Yeah.
furnish a
So let's
home.
so take a step back for folks who might not know who Bill is. We're talking
Oh,
about Bill
Bill.
Robertson. Talk a little bit about how you first met him. Talk a little bit about him, and then the contributions he has made to help you. And then we're going to show a little walkthrough of the museum. And what year did it open?
Well, Bill and I started talking about this in 2001.
Oh,
Bill is the chapter that I have in the book is called Artisan Extraordinaire, because that is exactly what he is. He is just the tops. He's got vision, and his his idea is that it's all in the details. The details matter.
mhm.
And that's the way I feel. That's the way I feel about. So we're on the same plane there. But when he asked me about what I wanted in a gallery, I said, I can tell you that I do not want it like anybody else's. I want it to be I want it to be my own personal, vision, and
Yeah.
that vision is open and airy and warmth. Lots of warm colors
Yeah.
and surprises around every corner, lots of curves. As,
Yeah.
as you can see there, we've got the Spencer House Rotunda,
Yeah.
and that is a circular room which I love rotundas,
Oh,
and Bill also had in mind the Palladian style, and there were rotundas, central rotundas with archways leading off, and that's exactly what I got when it comes to the fine arts rotunda. It's a big
yeah,
center room with archways and surprises at the end of each one of the arches. So he just really did a spectacular job. With
yeah.
Spencer House, we took all of the architectural details from the actual foyer of Spencer House and incorporated them into that room. There, you're looking at my very first dollhouse.
Is that right?
And I call it a dollhouse because it was a dollhouse. I've
Uh-huh.
graduated. I've graduated. Now we're talking miniature homes.
Right, right. Wait, can we go back? I want to go back because I want to hear. I want to. So that is your very first dollhouse?
That is my very first dollhouse, which I had collected lots and lots of furniture. They were in bookcases and in boxes, and I ordered this, and that's why I pay tribute to Ray Drinkwater in the book, in the
Yeah.
acknowledgments, because I said I don't want just a dollhouse. I want something really, really special. And he pulled this catalog from behind the desk, and it was from the Lawbury Company. And
Oh,
we all know about the Lawbury Company. It's, all kinds of architectural, different styles of architecture. And I said, I've always wanted to live in a Tudor house. I think I'd like that one. So, so
beautiful.
you
So
know,
that's the first one.
that's the first one. That's
That
the
is
first one.
awesome. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. And I just love it's a big space. It's a nice size space. You do not feel, I mean, I'm not even there, but I feel like there's room for the miniatures to breathe.
That's right. And we planned it that way. We wanted it to be open. I said I don't want it to be dark or bright lights. It's just I want when you come in to feel like you're being welcomed into my my sanctuary,
Yeah.
and that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
We
And
just we have. Go ahead.
no, and a big part of this museum is that is every piece is obviously chosen by you, is curated by you, but it's got a story to tell about your life. So talk a little bit about how that ties in, because I could see the movie theater and talk a little bit
The
of how everything has a story, an important story.
Well, the movie theater was my babysitter when I was growing up because I
Oh,
lived right across the street from it.
yeah.
So, back then there were A movies and there were B movies, and we got to go to the A movies. And, the admission fee was, I think, 6 cents when we started. That was for children, and then
Wow.
it went to 12 cents. But, oh, there we're looking at Twin Manors. That
Yeah.
is the newest. Bill Robertson's Oh, this is just the most wonderful piece.
I'm gonna go back.
He built two of them,
Uh-huh.
Twin Manors. He built one for Barbara Marshall for the National Toy and Miniatures Museum, and Bill's mother Esther was one of Barbara's best friends. So
Oh,
he built one for his mother as well, and they collected furniture together. It was a real fun time for them.
wow. Oh my God,
Real,
this
really special.
that's amazing. It's just amazing.
Well,
So I
I feel really honored. I feel really honored that Esther wanted me to have it here. So
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
real.
And I know we just lost her very
Yes, we
recently, so that
did.
was
Yes,
sad.
yes, we did. And we had just finished picking the house up 3 months before she passed away. And so I was just I at that point I knew that it was where it was meant to be.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, could we just talk numbers? How many doll houses? How many room boxes? And I just want to talk about the mechanics of this. I love the fact that everything is built into walls as they should be. I mean, that's got to go along with the thinking. But can we talk a little bit
Right.
about
Well, we have about 160 exhibits. When the exhibits are all out, when the other 2,500 square feet is in the other part of the gallery, which actually belongs to the museum. This gallery belongs to me, and we try to keep it fresh. We move things around. We add exhibits. I have probably I have about 25 structures, which
35 structures.
actually now it's even more than that. It's about 30 structures. And all of those structures are furnished from my collection.
And
So
they were all on exhibit right now currently, or you have stuff?
no,
No.
we have 120 exhibits in the main gallery.
Wow.
And then when the expanded exhibit goes in every third year, we have another 48 exhibits. And a good many of those are houses. And I have just acquired two more pieces, which are going to be fabulous when I get finished with them. One is a Paul Moore
Wow.
cabinet house
Oh,
that sits on its own cabinet with drawers. It has 6 huge rooms with 3 large staircases. So it's going to be, I'm just going to have the best time decorating
so
and
this is a
furnishing.
classic cabinet house, not a
Yes,
dollhouse.
not a
And
dollhouse.
can we just talk about where that came from? Is it a
It was
gift?
part of Holly June collection,
Holly Brown.
Holly June Brown's collection.
Are there any
And
photos of it anywhere, or is it you're keeping it tight?
if no, if you have Holly June Brown's book,
Oh,
it's actually on the front cover.
wow.
And if you open it up, it's in the first part of the book, but all of the rooms are furnished so beautifully. The furniture is not with it. So this will be the opportunity for me to take all of the extra pieces of furniture that I have
Right.
that do not have homes
But
to
all go
find the
together
perfect.
to your point.
Yes,
You shop for what you like, and
absolutely.
so it only at the end of the day, it all comes together
It all comes together.
nicely. Yeah.
That's right.
Talk a
That's
little
right.
bit
And
about your sort of collecting gestalt mentality, because you're commission, you commission pieces, you go out and buy pieces. You're a very generous supporter of miniature artists all over the world. Talk a little bit about your process. Is it
well, anyone who goes to the miniature shows knows that when you have 2 or 3 ballrooms and the room is filled end upon end of 6-foot tables and the best of the best miniatures are there, and one has to have a very discerning eye. I mean, there are many, many, many pieces that I love and I appreciate, but I'm thinking, how can I use this? In what setting would this best be used for? What type of architectural
Mhm,
style are we going for in the furnishings? I love to do also vignettes.
mhm.
I love to pull rooms together, just pieces of furniture that create an ambiance. And I love to put them. That's one of the things that Bill did when he was creating the gallery. We have a number of vignettes that have 3 shelves in each case,
Uh-huh.
and we put sort of light things together. We put French partitions or
Yeah.
marine items, or um, you know I have a case of Jamie Carrington character dolls, and it's just we like to have a little something for everyone. I can
Yeah.
tell you a story with Barbara Davis's
Davis.
Wayside Tavern, which is in the book. We had a guest last week that came in, and I was called from the downstairs to come into the gallery to see him. And when I got there, he was in tears. And I said, what in the world? Of course, I love to tell a story with these pieces. But I said, what is the matter? He could hardly talk. And he said, my wife and I were married in this room at Wayside Tavern 48 years ago. And he said, I cannot believe you have something in here for everyone. And that's what we try to do. We really try to appeal. We try to have things across the board so that
Yeah.
everybody has their own memories.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And that's a big part of miniatures and what that adds to our lives for sure.
Hmm.
Is that, they can be many things to different people, but I think
Yep.
memories is probably one of the biggest.
I think education, one of the
Yeah.
things that we've tried to focus on is education. And I have just learned lately that the group that brings in the autistic children, they
Mhm.
say that it has such a calming effect on them that
I bet.
they are learning that these miniatures really speak to these young people,
Yeah.
and I couldn't be happier. I mean, that's what we're all about.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. I believe that. I totally believe that. I've pulled some images from your Instagram of some of the room boxes, and the
Hmm.
first thing that comes to mind is the Thorn Rooms in Chicago. I mean,
Hmm.
I think that there are there are relationships here. Do you agree? Where do you see yourself in the world of the Thorn Rooms? Do you see yourself as the modern version?
You
Do you
know,
mind being scared?
I think that's that's an interesting point because I love the Thorn Rooms too. I think the lighting from outside creates the ambiance,
Mhm.
but for me, I want the incandescent light. I want the lights in the room because I want it to be as close to what we have in real life.
Mhm.
And that to me is one of the things that makes it really special.
Mhm.
Um, this is a Thorn Room right there. That's by Eugene Kupchak, and that's my Lafayette room, which I use to teach sixth graders. They asked me to teach a segment on France, and I
Mhm.
said, "Oh my goodness, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll take
And
this
what's
room
like?
box and incorporate the miniatures, and talk about how the French helped us win our independence." So
Yeah,
that went over really well.
I
I
bet.
each of the children got a paper bag to make a project with at the end, and I felt I took also a Punch and Judy setting, but at the end of the time, this little girl came up to me with her paper bag, and she had cut the long side out of the paper bag, cut it in half, put a floor, and said, "I made a dollhouse." I went,
Oh,
"Doesn't get any better than that."
yes, that is so awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, let us talk about this book.
Oh,
I got mine in the mail. I was so excited to open it up. Let's talk about this book. So this was your baby. This has
this
been
was my
your
baby.
baby for a number of years, right?
It
And now
it
it's
was. Now it's here.
talk a
It
little bit
has been
about
birthed.
what that
Uh,
was like.
well, we actually had the idea probably 15 years ago, and I started working on chapters. What I would put in it, and then COVID came along. We actually started very seriously on the book in early 2020. And when COVID came along, it sort of put a damper on everything because the publishing companies were having problems getting paper, and it was a very difficult time for me because I can't say that I lost interest, but because that happened, I just sort of I drew back a little bit,
Takes you off
and
track.
so my photographer, who is so, oh, her photographs are just second to none. And
Yeah.
she said, "Kay, you have wanted this for so long." She said, "Please, I'm behind you. Let's do this. Let's do this." And I said, "Okay, you're on." So we started working on it. And believe you me, I mean, there are so many things that have to be thought about, when you're putting a book like this together. And it's not just the photographs, it's the captions.
Yeah.
What do I want to say about this? What do I want to say that's interesting and will captivate people, but not be a big long paragraph? So there were a lot of things that went into it, but Kim not only is the photographer, Kim McKisson, she she actually did the layout of the book, and she is such an artist in her own right. She's a
Yeah.
beautiful watercolorist, and she really has that eye to be able to lay things out and have it really work.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite rooms right there. I
Yeah.
love that room.
It has a
But
very editorial feel for
yeah,
sure. Beautiful
yeah.
photographs, but there's something to learn, there's something to read. It's got a really nice upscale magazine feel, almost like just, but of course, it's a beautiful coffee table book.
Well, and it was a team effort. My publicist, Sharon Dodd,
Yes.
she did all of the introductions to the chapters. And I have to say, she set each one of them up beautifully. We did our thing.
Yeah.
She did those introductions. Kim did the photographs. I did the captions. and all the layout, and it all worked together. And I just have to say I couldn't be more pleased with it.
You should be very pleased. It's beautiful. And it's, it's historical because, there's not many places in the world that houses collections like this. So this is a testament, and we were talking about this before, that this book needs to go out to a commercial audience so they can see that this is
Yes.
not that miniatures is more than dollhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're in a great place anyway in the
Hmm.
world today. We don't have to necessarily explain what miniatures are as much as we
No.
might have maybe 10 years ago, but now this would take it to the next level for
Well,
people
and
to,
this is also a tribute to the artisans. This
yeah,
book is a testament to the artisans whose work stands up to the scrutiny of these really, really close photographs. I
yeah.
mean, the photographs are large and they're that way for a reason, so
Hmm.
that you can really get up close and see the perfection that goes into making each one of these artisans. They deal with perfection,
Right.
and I think that the photography is just exceptional, and I'm so pleased
Yeah.
that people are able to look at an item and say, wow, I can really see the detail. I can see the grain of wood. I can
Mhm.
see the texture in the fabric. It 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 works.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're perfect miniatures, and so you can shoot a perfect miniature. You can't get too
Yes,
close to a miniature that's not perfect, otherwise you will see the defects.
that's
So
right.
you're talking perfect miniatures, you're that close to them, it's rare. It's rare.
That's right.
And the illusion, you don't get that illusion. So
That's right.
it's incredible, just incredible. So what is it that you want people to walk away with when they read this book? Of course, it's joy-filled and it's delight and it's something you want to pick up every minute and go through because there's something you will see each time different, as we know with miniatures. What would you like people to walk away with?
Well, I think this book is not only for the people who have seen the collection, but it's for those who haven't seen the collection. I really want them to pick this up and go, wow, I really want to go there. I really want to see these things in person. But
Yeah,
if for some reason they can't, then they have this book that they can look at and still appreciate what is in the gallery.
yeah, yeah.
And it's I'm just so excited that it has finally become
Yeah.
a reality.
How did you decide, given that you have 160? I'd remember that. I know there are a lot structures and pieces and room by. How did you come to the final choices?
That was the most difficult decision, and there are still some. I wish the book could have been 500 pages, and
Of
I wish
course.
I could have added a lot more to it. But as I said in the back in the index, there will be other books because there is just too much. The collection is too extensive not to go forward and
Yeah.
do this again. So what basically went into the first book
Mhm.
are are the
Oh,
cornerstones of the collection, those
yeah.
pieces that are on permanent
Uh-huh.
display.
Okay.
We have a traveling exhibit coming up that we're going to start sending out.
Keep going.
And yeah,
Where is it traveling to? Is this is
well,
breaking news?
we have been talking
Please
to
come to New York.
museums like the Ringling Brothers Museum in Sarasota
Oh,
and other other museums across the country, and then some locally. We
okay.
have. I just got back from bringing 5 exhibits from the Kentucky State Fair that were there for 2 weeks, and
Wow.
so we love to introduce the miniatures to people, and we love to introduce the museum, and it's a good way to do it.
I think it's awesome. I think that's fantastic. I love it. Why don't we take a question or two, or maybe just read some comments? Monica, hi, Monica. Photos allow you to see every tiny detail, like the hardware on those cases. Monica says volume 2 and 3, please. Kay, are you commissioning any new houses? That's a good question from Faith Miller.
Well, that is a good question. I am not really commissioning anything at this point because I want to get the 2 pieces that I got from Holly Jean Brown. I want to get the Paul Moore cabinet furnished, and I want to get the tea sacks. It was a sterling silver shop with sterling silver staircases, and it is magnificent. So
Oh my
it's basically going to be for sterling silver, fine china, and crystal.
So
And
you have
so,
projects happening. That's
you know,
projects.
I have
And those are
projects
going to be
coming up.
permanent? Those are going to be permanent.
It will be permanent, yes.
So things do have to move out or out
Well,
or building.
the permanent things, the permanent things that are there, we will decide if there's some of them that can travel. For instance, I had the Spencer House contacted me on the 25th anniversary of Princess Diana's death, and they wanted me to ship the Spencer House over there. And I said, at this point, we opened in 2007, and everything was still so new that I wasn't really ready to let anything go. And and I also
Yeah.
have to think about damage.
Oh,
I don't want to put these pieces in a position to get damaged and then have
yeah.
to, you know, do
Yep.
a big refurbishment.
Wow. So you said no.
Well, I sent them a video. I sent them the video of Spencer House, and I said, when people come in to visit before they start the tour, they go into a waiting area, and I said, put this on the TV that you have in there, and people can get a taste of it.
I love it.
And Emma
Um,
Drake, I don't know if any of you know Emma Drake.
who's that?
She was at the Guild School this year, and then she either right before Guild School or right after Guild School, must have been right before Guild School, she got married in the Spencer House
Oh.
in England. So
Oh,
and she purchased some of John Hodgson's Spencer House furniture to sit
oh,
on one of the columns, and she took a photograph of it. And I went,
oh.
she's a girl after my own heart.
I love it. Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm aware, sorry to give away that logistics would do, but there are an opportunity to see them there in the future. I am aware, sorry to give away that logistics would be difficult, but will be there. Somebody's coming. That's that
Okay,
comment.
good.
We would love to see some of your collection pieces in Europe. I would love to see them in New York. Are you planning a tour in the UK anytime? Do you go to the London show?
I do go to the London show, but at this point, I'm taking care of my very dear husband, and
Yeah,
I can't really get away for long periods of time. So um,
yeah,
that's my first job right
yeah.
there.
That's priority for sure.
But
Yep.
but the outlet for me is the miniatures, and I
Miniature.
really, oh,
Yeah,
it's such a wonderful atmosphere to come into and live in each one of these structures, or
yeah,
sit in a chair in a vignette for that matter.
yeah. Is I mean, this is your life, right? This is what you do and love. Do you ever, I mean, you see the finest miniatures ever. Do you ever
Mhm.
get over that? Is there something that like you have a bucket list piece that you have always wanted to either commission or own?
There are pieces by Harry Cook and
Oh,
Frank Early that I know are out there, and I would love to own one of those one day.
yeah. I think those,
It's one of those things that you put on the wish list, and
yeah.
you pray about it, and you know that when it's meant to happen, it'll happen.
What are those names? I don't even know those names. And what do they make?
Frank Early
Frank
and Harry
Curley
Cook, they make wonderful furniture, beautiful
furniture.
furniture.
And they're out there. Do you know where they are? Or you just know they're out there.
I just know they're out there.
They're out there.
I know they're out there, and as I said, when it's meant to be, it'll be.
Yeah.
I'm
And
I'm a very patient person.
and ultimately those really really fine pieces belong in a collection like yours. That's where they belong. That is where they should be, for people to see them, for them to be cared for appropriately. We talked about how your museum is a temperature controlled environment. It needs to
Yep,
be.
yep.
All right, so let's see if there are any other. I hope you go to the museum and play with your houses sometimes. Aw.
All the
Well,
time, all the
yeah,
time, all the time. I am
let's
forever. Generally, when I put something in a house, it's there to
yeah,
stay because it's found its home. But sometimes, I'll get a piece that will be an upgrade, And at that point, I'll switch it out and move that someplace else or hold on to it. And, you know, I have a very, very difficult time. I don't put anything up for sale because as soon as I get rid of it, I need it.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
I just I never know what I'm going to need, and so I've got that storage area that is filled with all wonderful pieces as well. So
That
that's what
would
I'll
be
be.
that would
That's
be a
what.
segment in itself, just to go into Kaye's
Ah, it
storage
is.
closet.
It is. It
That
is.
would be a fun live stream.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, but let's do that sometime.
we totally just to see the stuff
Oh,
that is in the closet. Oh my
yep.
God.
Yep.
So Jeff's saying I saw somewhere Kaye will be at the next Bishop show. Thank you for bringing that up because that was going to be the next discussion. What is next? Where will we see you? There's also you have classes coming up. Talk a little bit about how you host fine art classes in miniature making and where we can see you next.
Well, I will be at the Chicago show with the books and the Barry Dawson rugs. And then as soon as the Chicago show is over, there's a day of travel. And then we have our opening tour day and teacher setup day and opening dinner on that Tuesday. It's the 14th of April. And the classes will start on Wednesday and run through Saturday evening when we close with a big party at my house. So I'm encouraging everyone to sign up and first come, first serve. So the classes will actually be open for registration on October 1st at noon on my website, which is KSB Miniatures Collection.com, and the workshops will be right there front and center.
I just posted the links for people to check that out. I mean, this is a rare opportunity. I mean, they have something like this in Europe, but this is its only opportunity here in the US to have sort of like that intimate gathering of a small number of like-minded people learning really, really high quality skills from very, very good teachers. And then to see the museum and get a special tour from you. I mean, that's mind-blowing.
Well,
it's a rare opportunity.
It makes for a very special week. And I think we do in the evenings, we keep the gallery open because, you know, when people are in classes all day, they don't have that time to go into the gallery when the museum is open. So we open the gallery at night. We open the gift shop where we have lots of miniatures for sale, and the books. And, you know, that's the other thing. You can get the book on the website too, the KSB Miniatures Collection.com, and then just go under books.
Yep, those links are there for folks to check that out. I think that's wonderful that you do that you leave the museum open because you can't see it all in one day, especially if you're, I mean, most people can, not if you're a miniaturist.
If you're a miniaturist, it takes a good 2 days or 3.
Oh, yes.
Come for the weekend.
I can only imagine. Well, this has been amazing. I don't know if there are any other last questions before we let Kaye go. Your downsizing you collect, that's me, no. Monica's very excited about the classes this year.
Oh,
yes.
Yay.
How do you maintain, this is a good question really quickly. How do you maintain and repair the miniatures in the museums?
I have a beautiful team. Carrie is my electrician. My daughter, Carrie 7. She is studying to be a master electrician, so she takes care of all the lights. She makes sure all the light bulbs are on. Wow. We have Teresa Lehman, who is my assistant curator, and she does a wonderful job. You know, it takes a family really to put all these exhibits in and out, especially at Christmas time. We'll be starting on Christmas on the 12th of October so that it'll be in when the Guild Study Program comes on the 24th. So, you know, we've got that all planned out.
So you're hosting two educational events this year or next year?
Yes, this year. We have the Fall Guild Study Program here starting the 24th of October through the 27th. And then we have the KSB Miniatures workshops that start on April 14th. So, yeah, we will have 6 instructors here, and the Guild Study Program has 3.
Wow, that's incredible. Well,
it's all about education. It's all about education, and not only educating people to become miniaturist or to make things so that they know what goes into it. But the gallery is all about history, and we educate people in the different periods of furniture, you know, through the exhibits. So it's we truly are an educational institution.
Yeah. Well, this has been incredible. So many
Thank
things for
you.
people to sort of get. All the links are there to check out where to go to see the museum, where to go to take classes, where to go to purchase this awesome book.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for all that you do for the miniatures world, Kaye, because you're so generous. You're so, open to, supporting all the artists out there. And, your collection is extraordinary. So
Thank you. Thank you
thank
so much. And thank you for letting me share this
you.
time.
My pleasure. Thank you, everybody at home. Have a great rest of your day and a great week, everybody. Bye. And thank you, Kaye, again. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Yay.